Y'all, hopefully you guys are having a good day. I know I am. I wanted to come on here and talk about this because, y'all, I'm confused. And I know other content creators are confused too. So it's like, let's talk about it. I need somebody, and I'm going to open up my call lines, but I need you to mic up. I would like for you to come on and talk if you would like to. What do we define? What is baby mama culture? What is baby daddy culture? Because it's not just about the moms. It's about the daddies too. You know, it takes two to create a child. Everyone wants to focus on women, but these men are just equally as responsible. I got a lot of weird pushback over my Rihanna video, which for me, I don't mind pushback. I don't feel like people have to agree with everything that I'm saying. But what's confusing to me, okay, let me make you a mod. What's confusing to me is when people switch up according to who's their fave. They like to be selected. And it's very confusing because I'm just like, if we're looking at the issue, which the main issue is that children are emotionally neglected, then that means it doesn't matter who is doing it. It's just a matter of the fact that it's being done. So let me look. Let me add some of you guys as a mod. Because I'm like, are we really making this about creating and building a better community, or are we just being selective according to who's popular and who's not? Because y'all drag Nick Cannon, but then you have people out here that are arguing about how, well, he has the money, who cares? Okay, so we don't care about the kids then. We don't care about the kids when it comes to Kylie Jenner, Tristan Thompson, and Khloe. We just don't care as long as they have money. Is that all that the community cares about? Because let me know so I can stop wasting my time. It's like you call it out over here, but then when you call it out over here, then all of a sudden you're criticizing and you're being negative and you're bringing the black woman down. And I'm just like, but it's literally the same thing. I've seen Kylie Jenner get dragged. We see Khloe constantly getting dragged. So I don't know. It's very weird to me. I just can't deal with the flip-floppy, the wish-washy. It's too much. Like, I'm just like, I thought this was about not creating broken families. Like, I really thought that that's what this is about. It seems like it's only about the money. Like, if you have the money, you get a pass for just about anything. That's what I'm getting from all of this. Yes, they moved the goalposts, y'all. And I'm just like, but I just went in on Nick Cannon all last week. If you follow me on Instagram, literally went in on Nick Cannon all last week. I'm like, what's the difference? Because the goal for me is to make sure we're not creating broken families. You guys, I'm eating collagen, which I highly recommend for your skin. Whole Foods. I'm breaking my fast. I thought money wasn't everything either. I also want to make this known because I'm about to share this little link. I want to make this known too. That, when you're out here dating, you got to understand first and foremost that not everyone is going to agree. Oh, you've been fasting? Hopefully it's going well. I've been fasting too. I've been struggling. I've been struggling, y'all. But even though I've been struggling, I've been making it. If that makes sense. Like I've been making it to my goal every day. Earlier this week, I fasted while working out. I don't recommend when you're just starting because oh my gosh. But yeah. You guys, the reason why I'm talking about this though, let me stay on topic. The reason why I'm talking about this is because most likely if you get pregnant out of wedlock, chances are you guys are not going to stay together. And I'm not sure if this collagen is plant-based. I'll have to look into it. I'll post it on my Instagram story. Most likely you guys are not going to stay together. If you get married, not in all cases, but there's a better chance of you guys staying together. And I think like people try to make it seem like I push marriage because it's religious, and I'm not really big on religion. I'm not really a part of organized religion. Also, people think I push marriage because socially it makes you look a certain way, and that's not why. It's just, yes, statistics don't lie, and it's like people want to ignore that. I'm like, if we truly are trying to make the community better, these are things that you consider. I don't get that. But I would like for someone to answer this. What is the difference in baby mama culture? I need you guys to mic up, you guys. You have to mic up. You have to mic up. Okay. Let me add.
Hey, Yanni.
Hello.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm eating and all. It's dark in my room, so if you can't see me. But I
Hold
want
on,
to say that.
wait a minute. Let me fix my audio. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so
Okay. Oh, I was going to say that um, people, I think it's because of the race. That's the problem. That's the whole problem. Because I think too that people, when they think about baby mama, they automatically think black women. Because it's like a trope that go with black women, and everyone like already stereotype how black women are and baby mothers. But Kylie and etc. are white women, and many people don't expect like white women to be baby mamas, etc., etc. And it's the race, but some people also think, oh, it's okay if white women are baby mamas because apparently they have money, so who cares. But it's very problematic because it's more than the money. Like a child needs the right mindset and right leadership and nurturing. But I guess people nowadays are becoming so shallow and very selfish and unintelligent. They want to, shift narratives into whatever supports them. They don't understand that. And I think that's the problem.
I also would like to add that you made a great point. A lot of people focus on money, 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 money. But when I watched the show The Maid, and I don't know if you watched the show, but if you saw how the child was taken from home to home to home to home, and how that impacted the child emotionally, and how it caused her to become physically sick, and how, because she didn't have stability as far as like schedule, because kids need a routine as well. And it's like, I noticed this when I watch families that are not black. I watch families that are Asian. I watch a Hispanic family on YouTube. And so I noticed that they put their kids on a schedule, on a routine, and I see how their development skills, their growth, right, how it's so much more, I will say, faster than other kids, because of the fact that they have a routine, they have stability, they're being nurtured, and it's consistent. you know, and I'm seeing how they are raised in the house and how it impacts their learning, their speech, how they conduct themselves socially and things like that. Like I actually watch content like that because I'm like, wow. But then if you go to say a single parent home, a single mother can't always give that child consistency with routine because she's doing it all and she's doing it all herself. Or even a single father, he's doing it all himself. So it's kind of hard to keep the same routine when you're a single parent and you have to do everything or you have to do it all, even when you're co-parenting, because that parent isn't there daily. So I think that's something that people need to consider. I'm not saying co-parenting is bad or anything like that. I just feel like it's harder on parents when you have to co-parent and you're trying to give that child that same stability that you would give them if you guys all lived under one roof.
Oh, I
So
was
go right
sorry.
ahead. No, I'm
I was
sorry.
gonna say that I don't know if anyone else noticed, but I also see another reason, another difference, and it is based on the inferior complex going on. That's another thing. Like if a black woman is, of course, by herself, it's automatically she's the baby mama. But a white
Mhm.
woman is called a single mother. Like,
Right.
but many people take it in different ways. They take the black woman in a very negative way, but a white woman is, oh, she could do anything. She's strong. She could do it. But when I say inferior complex, it just because like many times I think it is 95% of white women are single mothers with
Mhm.
biracials, and black men tend to go for white women a lot of times because they know white women, have social power and et cetera, right?
Mhm.
And they can eat it off and they can make their inner inferior complex feel better by eating off these women. But black women sadly have to say this, but we have to say that women, many times have to get resources and status, etc., from men, right? Their man group, but black men have none. So black women are unfortunately stuck in that position. And black men, they know they have an inferior complex, and black women just remind them that it's there, and they hate it. They can't feed off and feel powerful with black women because they know black women are not powerful enough because black men spread inferiority all over the place. And so many people celebrate white women's single baby motherhood, et cetera, but they shame black women. And that's the difference, I would say, because it's inferior complex, it's racial bias, and it's just I would say just lack of intelligence and arrogance from people. That's
And
all
I
I have
have
to
to
say,
ask you
Rana.
this
Yes.
because uh, I think, I think, I think I feel like you've given me clarity on why I got so much negative pushback on the Rihanna video. Because to me, I'm like, it's all the same. You know, Kylie Jenner, Nick Cannon, Khloe Kardashian, Tristan Thompson. It's all the same to me, right? I don't condone baby mama culture because of how it affects children. Period. Right? I don't care how it looks. I don't care who's doing it. I don't care what race it is. It's just I feel like kids are neglected. But I think the reason that I got the pushback is because you say that black women are always being labeled baby mamas and white women are called single mothers.
Yeah,
White
people
women
take
are
it
never
negatively.
questioned. White women are never questioned for their choices in poor men, like, you know, Kylie, Chloe, for example. Well, I don't know. She's currently being dragged right now. They're not really questioned the same as a black woman. And so a lot of people felt like I was coming for Rihanna for whatever reason. I'm just like, but I'm like, I didn't even really give my emotional stance behind Rihanna being pregnant. I think I honestly can't wait to see what the baby looks like. But I get where you're coming from as well, as far as, you know, well, black women already have it hard. You know, we're called baby mamas. White women are called single mothers, and it's just not the same. So I'm starting to understand where they were coming from, but in no way was I trying to criticize Rihanna for her choices because, again, I don't know what it's like to be financially at her level. And the one thing that she wanted, money cannot buy. I don't know what it's like to go through that type of experience. So
Hmm.
I think you gave me my answer already.
Oh, I was gonna say that yes, single mother and baby mother is, or
Mhm.
baby mama is the same thing. It's just the way that people have complex and their the way of seeing it behind the word. You know, sometimes when Black women are called that, it's already a negative. But single mothers is, you know, yeah, she's alone, she was left, da da da, but she still have it. That's what I mean by that. There's it's still the same thing. You know, the man left, we know that, but it's just the way that people see it. You know,
Mm.
they see negativity towards baby mama. That's what I mean by that. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, and thank you so much, Yanni, for letting me on. And I love Black women so much, and I love you too.
Thank you. What's your name? I'm sorry.
KS. I was
Yes.
on already. I preach all over the place,
Well,
but
thank
that's all I
you.
say. Yeah, no problem.
Bye bye.
Bye. Love you.
Love you too. Okay. So you guys, I'm gonna add some more people to the chat. Another thing that I want to add, gosh, what was I about to say? Oh, I told you guys about, do I want to put this out here? I told you guys about the fact that I grew up predominantly in a white neighborhood. And I will say that the basketball teams that I have played on, a lot of the girls that I played against or played with were white women. I was the only black girl. And a lot of them are single mother. Well, a lot of them are baby mamas. According to society, I'm supposed to be the baby mama because I'm black, right? I was the only black girl. They knew that I would be a single mother or I would be a baby mama. And so one thing that I'm learning is that other communities gatekeep the image of their women in such a positive light. Our community does not. So, and listen, another thing that I want to point out, I don't think any of their baby daddies are black. Yeah, I don't think any of them dated black. I don't think any of them had babies by black men. They all had them by white men, honestly. I haven't seen one of my teammates actually get with a black man. They did go through a phase. I'm not gonna lie. When they were younger, they were all hot and bothered by black men. Some of them were, they were curious, but a lot of them had kids with white men. So no, there's no code in the community. But I'm starting to understand where people are coming from as far as the quote unquote criticism that I gave over Rihanna. But for me, like I said, it's all the same in my mind. As a content creator, it's all the same. It doesn't matter if it's Kylie Jenner, Nick Cannon, Khloe Kardashian. It's all the same. I don't recommend it because of the emotional neglect that comes with that. And I'm going to share a video with you guys here in a sec. I want to share a video about emotional neglect in children because there was a study that was done, and I'm going to show you the study that was done. But let me go ahead and add, is it Karen?
Hi,
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good.
So, the question is, what is the difference? Like, how do you feel about baby mama culture?
Well, for me, I was raised in middle class, around white people.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm like a little skewed on everything. But for race, it's like the support, honestly. Like, does the men like cover the woman? What outlets does the woman have? Do they have a great family support? Do they have a great foundation? Um, Honestly, it doesn't matter if it's a white woman or a black woman. If they're
Mm-hmm.
like usually attached to a black man, they usually don't have those things, and then
Right.
they become dragged and stuff like that. But
So you're saying that white baby mamas, because I'm gonna keep saying it, okay?
mhm.
If it's not a negative thing, right? Because they love to call black women baby mamas, but white
Mhm.
baby mamas are still well supported by their families. Black baby mamas are not.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, continue. I just wanted to clear that up because I'm like, let me make sure I'm understanding where you're coming from. But go right ahead. I'm sorry.
um, yeah, even the family. Once like a white woman like entertains a black man, the family usually um doesn't cut off the woman, but like pressures her to let go from that desire.
Mm.
But I love your channel because you're focusing on the child's mentally
Mhm.
stability. Um, for me, I'm a first and middle child. I'm a
Mhm.
first for my fathers and I'm a middle for my mothers. And since I've been growing up, my mom, she says, "Oh, I can be the mom and the dad," and that was just like a regular thing. But
Mhm.
after watching all these videos, it it mentally messed up majority of the kids because like they didn't have um, a physical or mental consistent figure in our lives. So
So you were raised by a single mother, and you're saying that
no, I
you.
was me. I had both my mom and dad at
Mhm.
the home. My
Mhm.
mom was emotionally there, but she wasn't physically there. My father
Mm.
was physically there, but he wasn't emotionally there. My
Mm.
two half siblings, they only had their mother, and she was only emotionally there and financially there. She was the breadwinner of the house. But yeah, it was kind of messed up.
So how was your experience with that as far as growing up and starting to understand how that impacted the home?
Um, it's it was mentally challenging.
Mhm.
Like when I was a young child, I would like uh
Oh my God,
listen
girl, you about to
more
make me cry, girl. You about to make me cry. Because we have a similar story. When women are the breadwinners of the home, and when you're
mhm,
the girl and you're being raised by the father,
mhm,
there's just certain things that you needed your mom there for, and she was
mhm.
working,
Yeah.
and I don't think, and this is why I say money is not everything.
Mhm,
Money is not everything. Like, it can cause emotional trauma for adults. And what I fear with the Black community is because a lot of us were conditioned with the scarcity mindset that the only thing we need to be happy, the only thing we need to make it, the only thing that we need to be loved and seen is money.
mhm.
And it's so sad because it's not true. And just
It's
like
not.
your mom was the breadwinner, there were just times where you just wanted her to be there for you emotionally, and she couldn't
Mhm.
because she was working.
Yeah.
So I definitely get where you're coming from, and thank you for calling in and giving your opinion from your experience in life. I do have a question though. When it
Yes.
comes to how you grew up in your experience, do you feel like the baby mama culture is it beneficial even when money is involved? Lots of it, I would say. Do you think it's enough?
No. It's just that support, that physical support, that mental support, backup, like connections. Like you lose that when one of the parents is it physically or emotionally there. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter.
Doesn't
Money
matter.
is irrelevant.
Okay. Thank you, Karen. Thank you
Bye.
so much for calling in. You have a nice day.
You too.
All right. Bye bye. Okay. I would like to go ahead and add others. Um, I just need you guys to cam up. Amanda, girl, you are next, but I just need you to cam up. Well, you know what? I can add you because I actually know you. But you're gonna have to unmute.
Oh, sorry. I'm sitting here with my bonnet on.
But I know you, so I know you're not gonna try to pull nothing. The reason why I have people cam up now is because there was a situation that happened on another platform with a different YouTuber, and it was a mess, and their channel ended up getting taken down. So I just
Oh,
ask that you guys cam up so that I can monitor, what you're doing, what you're saying, because I'm not trying to get my channel taken down because of some crazy stuff. But Amanda, how do you feel about baby mama culture? Do you feel like money is enough?
Money is definitely not enough. Just looking at the examples that you listed with Kylie to Rihanna to Nick Cannon, money isn't enough. Um, it doesn't fit all, or it's not a solution to all problems. Like, having, a, I'm trying to say more like a family unit, having the mother and father, husband and wife being together. It it's supposed to mold your child, and I feel like a lot of times it's just like, oh, I'm a boyfriend, I'm a girlfriend to this person, let's make a baby. And it's getting to the point where just because you're boyfriend and girlfriend, we need to make a baby. And that's where a lot of the baby mama, baby daddy culture is coming from. So you have people, just because they're in a relationship, we're just going to keep on having babies and think, oh, well, this person has money, so we can financially take care of the baby, but emotionally you're not taking care of that child. So it's like when you say something about baby mama, baby daddy culture,
Mm-hmm.
you get a lot of pushback, like, oh, well, that's old timey. That's not what we're doing now. Like, everyone has a baby mama, like everyone has a baby daddy. It's getting more normalized now, where before it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, I've had debates for the last, like, maybe 2 or 3 guys I've dated, like in an early dating phase, to say I want to have kids when I'm married. They want to debate me down. Well, what if you just want to have a baby with this person? Maybe this guy's a good guy and you just want to have a baby for him. And again, why am I having a baby, for him?
I
It's
feel like let me just throw this out here to any woman that's considering that, because I don't feel like that can't be an option. Do it with a gay couple. If you do it with a gay couple, listen, gay men, they are stable financially, and a lot of them are stable emotionally. Gay couples, if you wanted to have a baby for whatever reason, I feel like you could create a blended family with a gay couple, and that baby would be emotionally supported. Is it the traditional route? No, but it's truly about the baby being emotionally supported and receiving that security emotionally. You would be able to get that with a gay couple, because then that child can be well supported from both parents. I would prefer you guys to do it in the same house, because I feel like that's the best that you can give your child. But if not, because not everyone can get the same thing, I think the second best would be to create a baby with a gay couple. You're killing two birds with one stone. You guys are helping each other out. But just to settle to be a single mother, to me, it's like it's it's almost like you're forgetting that this human being that you're bringing into the world doesn't have feelings and emotions, and they do. And one day they're going to start asking you questions that hopefully you can answer. So go ahead, Amanda, continue.
Well, that goes to, I know one of my friends, and her daughter is now 10, and she's a single mom. And her daughter is starting to ask those questions, like, why don't you and mommy daddy and mom and dad, why don't y'all both live together? Why aren't you
Mhm.
like my other friends, their parents are married, why aren't you married? And she has to she's at a point where she doesn't really know how to answer those type of questions. Or she'll ask a question is, why don't you have the same last name as me? Or why, it's those type of questions, and you can't really like answer them, or try to find the best way to answer them. Or like, why didn't you get married? you know at 10 years old, in her mind, she's seeing something, something isn't right. Why do you and daddy stay separate? Like, it's those type of things that you have to worry about when you have a child. And a lot of times I feel like people are just having kids and they're not even ready for those kids. And it's just because, oh, I'm just having a baby with this person. It's like a right now thing. Like, oh, well, we've been together for a year, so why not we just have a baby? And then the relationship might fall off. Or, and another thing that I've noticed too is now baby showers are the new weddings.
Mm.
So
So you
celebrating,
so you think people want that day of celebration
yes,
when they go all out for the baby or the gender reveal and the baby shower?
yes, those are now being seen as weddings,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the only time you really kind of celebrating something that's more like adjacent to a family, the family, I guess, dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Is okay, she's gonna have a pretty dress on, everyone's happy because she's having a baby.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's not that I would never want to shame someone to be like, oh, well, you're a baby mama. It's not to
Right.
shame,
Right. Right.
but you have to make sure that you're geared up to, know what you're doing. And a lot of times it's not like that. It's more, I'm just having the baby now just because I feel like having it. And we're going to try to co-parent any way possible. And it's a lot of different gray areas when you're talking about someone that you're just having a baby for or with. So you're not really secured as if you would be secured in a marriage. You wouldn't be secured like you would if you had that unity. But now it's just that,
So you're saying that marriage should not just the focus when it comes to marriage shouldn't just be what we shouldn't just focus on how it's been romanticized to us. We should
yes,
focus on how it creates a unit, a village for you to be well supported if you do choose to have kids, not just
yes,
physically but emotionally.
yes, marriage
So
is
you
more,
so you feel like Black women are looking at marriage completely wrong.
yes.
And that causes them not to want to get married because they're looking at marriage in a way that has been romanticized to them.
Yes, and I think that the weight of marriage has changed. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times when you do speak to someone that, might be a single mom, a baby mama, whatever you want to call it, and you say, like, do you believe in marriage? Things like that. Oh, marriage is just a piece of paper, and we love each other, and that piece of paper is not gonna, hold anything. But it's more than just a piece of paper. Like, spiritually, this is more than just, oh, I have this person's last name. And I feel like now it's not like that. It's just having a baby. I think the weight of having a baby is lower than marriage. Like the whole, I think you even covered that with, what was it? Tiny's daughter. When they were
Mhm.
asked, when she was being interviewed and they asked her about getting married, she was like, getting married? Oh, we have to think about getting married. But while she was pregnant, like, you're having a
Mhm.
baby, but you think that marriage is woo, or like something outside of the scope for you to get, but you're having a baby.
Yeah, because a baby, you probably gonna be in that until the day that you die. Marriage, you can get out of that if things don't work out.
Yes, being a wife now is being considered like some type of like process, something that's impossible almost. So
Hmm.
being a wife is like, oh, that's so super hard, super hard. But being a mom is, oh, it's so easy. So I think that too is getting kind of fed into the culture as well. And it's no more about having that emotional, having that connection, having that unity with someone. It's just about what I feel like doing, and money. If I have the money, then I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
Um, Now I will say, usually the more successful ones that are like baby that become baby mama, I can see Rihanna and ASAP actually secretly getting married.
I can too.
I can see them secretly getting married.
And that's what I said in my original video. I'm like, who's to say that they're not married?
Yes.
Rihanna didn't even want to tell us that she was pregnant. We don't even know how long or far along she really is. She's carrying small. Well, she's tall. Most tall women do carry small. So who knows if they're married or not?
So I definitely can see that. Just because I don't, what, someone being a billionaire baby mama, I don't see that actually kind of happening. So I think that she'll probably secretly get married, but I think the culture is set where it is.
Right, right. I think people had an issue. They were questioning the character of the man, just like a lot of people were questioning the character of the man when it came to Nicki Minaj. A lot of people, if listen, if you don't have people in your family, people in your social group, people that are around you that don't question the character of the man that you're seeing or that you're dating, they don't care about you. I think her fans caring about ASAP Rocky's character, I think they care about her because that is why they're concerned, which I think they should be concerned considering his past. Now, could ASAP Rocky have changed? Of course, people grow. I'm not the same person that I was 6 months ago. So I think ASAP Rocky, he could very well be a changed man. You know, when you're young, you do dumb stuff. You don't really know much of the world. You get out here, you live a little, you experience some things, and your whole life is you change. You're different. Your whole life is different. Your whole outlook on life is different. And I think that will change your mindset. So who knows if he's even the same person? So I think it's just a matter of time. Like I said, Rihanna's a smart girl, though. I do feel like she's a smart girl. So we really don't know. We're only speculating, looking from the outside, looking in. So it's just a matter of time. But thank you for calling in, Amanda. I'm going to move on to Priscilla here.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I also wanted to respond to um, this girl that left the chat. She said, I've noticed this marriage is just a piece of paper was marketed towards the Black community. I'm going to explain to you why. White people did not want the Black community to have wealth. Marriage is about wealth. Marriage is about accumulating wealth and keeping it within the Black community. If they marketed towards us as just being a piece of paper, it was because they did not want the Black community to be stable. They didn't want the Black community to be wealthy. That is why marriage is created in the patriarchy society that we live in, is to keep the wealth in the community. White people still get married for that very reason. Wealthy white men still get married for that very reason, to keep the wealth, to keep the white man in power. When are Black people going to catch on to this? I'm trying to figure it out. There was a reason why they would not allow us to get married when we were slaves, because that was for us to get married as slaves. That means we could come together, build together, and accumulate wealth together and build a strong community. The reason why, and I make the commentary that I make because I look at these things from a bigger picture standpoint. The reason why the white man created marriage, and yes, you're playing the white man's game, whether you like it or not. But I don't see a group of Black men out here creating a nation for us to go live under. So we have to play by their rules, right? Playing by their rules, if you're really going to create generational wealth, doing it through marriage matters. And the reason is because you keep the wealth in the community. If you are creating wealth and you are participating in baby mama culture, it's kind of hard keeping the wealth in the community because it's about being in the Black community. It's not about being in the white community. And this is why you see communities like the Jews, you even see the Asian community and things like that. They keep that wealth in their family and or in their community. And that's why they also prioritize, Asians marrying Asians. I want to say white people, marrying other whites and things like that. They keep it in their community for a reason. But it's just something to look into. It's not about, and I wish a black woman would stop thinking that marriage is about how people view you socially. It's really not. It's not. It's not. It's not at all. Hello, how are you, Priscilla? Hold on. Are you on? Do I have you on mute?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, there we go. There we go. How are you doing today? Look at you, gorgeous.
Thank you.
You're just glowing. So, what would you like to add to this conversation about baby mama culture?
Okay, so I think the issue is so deep and layered, and there's so many aspects that go into it.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that we shouldn't shame Black women for being baby mamas when
Mm-hmm.
marriage isn't being proposed to them. You know, as women, we're not the gatekeepers of marriage. Men
That is
are.
fact.
And the fact that Black men don't want to get married and you have to sometimes propose marriage to them or stick with him through hell and high water just for him to marry you is a problem, you know?
Mhm.
Like the culture around marriage needs to change in order for people to feel like it's a necessity. Because right now, I think the culture around marriage in the Black community is like, well, a girl really has to be a ride or die for me to marry her. Like Dirk in India, when
Mm.
that happened, people were like, well, she was in a shootout with him, so he
Yeah.
better go on it. Like just a really strange narrative surrounding marriage. And I
Marriage.
just think um it's just, I don't know. I don't like to shame women because I used to err on the side of like guard your womb and things like that. But then I read this book called Promises I Can Keep,
Mhm.
and it's about why poor women choose motherhood before marriage. And essentially the what I took away from the book is that a lot of women growing up in poverty feel like the men around them aren't adequate enough to marry. Like even if they did marry them, they would essentially be married single mothers because they're in and out of work, they're not emotionally stable and things like that. So they want to raise their children until they have the children, and they think the men are optional. And I think in the Black community across all socioeconomic statuses, it's like the same thing. Like we have really grown to think that like the men are expendable because that's kind of how they presented themselves to be.
Okay, and I have to ask you this. What do you feel, how do you feel like we can bring back the importance of marriage within the Black community? Because you're saying that women are like, well, these men are not, they're not asking to marry us. That's number one. And then number two, they're not really marriage material. That's that's number two. And number three, it's like, well, dang, I want children. Like I'm, being a nurturer, it's natural for us as women. So do I have to miss out on children for that? So what do you feel would be the solution to those those questions, or that those hard truths that we Black women have to swallow? I want to ask that question, and then my other question is, how can we make marriage a priority?
I don't know. I honestly, I really believe that Black men aren't held accountable enough. Like in our culture, we coddle Black men so much
Ooh.
that every problem that in other communities is placed on men, we
Mm-hmm.
as Black women internalize it and we put that weight on our backs and we think it's our fault. We're the reason they're not marrying us. We're the reason that they're violent, this and that. So I don't know. I think it could start with like teaching Black men how, like, what their roles are
You
as
feel like it
men.
starts with the men.
I think it really does because as women, we're not supposed to have to jump through hoops to get married. Like that's not what it is. And
Mm.
as far as making marriage important again, well, personally, like I have an African background, and most people that I know are married, but
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of married single mothers. Like I see a lot of women who are married with kids.
Ooh.
Yeah. But they take on a lot of the responsibility when it comes to child rearing, and they still have to go to work and they still have to cook.
Mm-hmm. And that man be on the couch.
Yeah, so it's like having another dependent.
Mm.
So I think in order to make women even incentivized to seek marriage or seek men who prioritize marriage, we need to make them feel like they're getting something from it other than just like some social status of some sort. Because for a lot of Black women, they feel like, well,
It's
you don't
just
add
the
much to
social
my
status.
life as my boyfriend, so why should I make you my husband so I can have a lifelong burden? Some
Okay, I'm
women feel
trying
that
to
way.
get what you're saying. So you feel like, okay. So you're saying that a lot of women, a lot of Black women just get married for social status because really that's all that Black men can really offer.
Well,
Oh, is that what you're saying? Because
oh,
it makes sense. And
to,
now I see why Black women are like, marriage.
right.
Is that what you're saying? Because I think that makes total sense to me.
Yeah, to a certain extent, it's like you get the nods, like, okay, you're married, but what else is there? It's like I have a ring on my finger and everyone can see that. But back at home, I'm the one carrying most of the burden. And
Mm.
it's like, what? I don't know. I just feel like black women have moved on in the sense that like we're choosing ourselves and we're realizing what little benefits we get from certain dynamics within the community. But we haven't fully moved on enough to say like we're not putting up with this anymore. Like
Hmm.
I there's this woman, she went viral recently. Don't call me white girl. Have you heard of her?
Oh yes, yes. But which the one with Ari Fletcher?
No, but
Okay, that's the
okay.
only one that I saw.
I was listening to her podcast and she was just talking about like her baby daddies. She's two. And then she was
Mhm.
basically like, I could have put them on child support, but I was like, you know what, I got it. Like, I'll take care of them. But she's always complaining about them. And I feel
Mm.
like a lot of black women just carry the burden to feel like some
Yeah,
sort of mobility or something.
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
girl. Well, you added a lot to this conversation. You came up here and you said, "I'm gonna shake the table." You gave me a lot to think about.
I
Now I see why black women turn their nose up at marriage because I'm like, I'm a very optimistic thinker. I think if you want something, go after it. You may not get exactly what you want. Be careful what you ask for because what you want may not be what you want. But I feel like if that's really what you want, you'll receive it. But now you're making me think about how a lot of black women turn their nose up at marriage because you're right. There are a lot of women that are married that are single within their marriage and they're doing it all. But
mhm.
it does give those women the social cues, the social status. But inside, they're literally struggling. So,
Yeah.
okay. I thank you for coming and speaking. I really do appreciate it. You gave me something to think about.
Wait, just one. I just want to say one
Mhm.
last thing. Um, I basically I'm just saying that like in order for marriage to mean something to anyone in the black community, everyone has to agree that it means something. Because black women can't keep saying they want to be married and letting black men gaslight them about being the least married group of women when when they do get married, it's like years after dealing with so much and then they're just carrying a lot of the weight within the relationship and the marriage. Like everyone has to get on one accord and agree that it means something. Otherwise, it doesn't mean anything, basically.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. But I will say this before I let you go. I think that there are single married women and then there are single women that are baby mamas. Aren't they the same within the black community based off of how our men don't support us how we need? Is it not the same?
Wait, can you elaborate on that?
So there are married single mothers, right? Meaning like they do all the domestic work in the house and they work outside the house. That's a married single mother. Then you have a single mother who's doing all the work in the house domestically and working full time outside the house.
And they're
Aren't
on
they
the
the
same
same?
level. I mean, essentially, yeah, but one of them just has more respect.
I feel like one of them gets a social status that
Yeah.
the single mother does not get. One gets a positive social status, the baby mama gets the negative social status.
But it makes no sense because, like, in Nicki Minaj's case, she is married, but to who?
Mhm.
You just,
I
I don't
know.
know, you have to think about it.
I know. It gives you something to think about, but only in the black community. I don't think it's the same way in all communities because you have men that feel like cooking is a woman's job.
Yeah.
A lot of them, even if you're working outside the home. See, in other communities, men will say, because all men have misogyny. That's the thing. All men have misogyny, right? But if you go to an Asian household, women, cooking is for women. But I'm gonna make sure I go home and bring home that bacon. In
Mm-hmm.
the black community, it's like, oh, cooking is for women, but I'm not gonna bring home the bacon. I expect for her to go get the bacon too, so she can come in here and cook it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
like you're definitely giving me something to think about because I'm like, okay, if in the black community only, where a single mother is just the same as a married woman,
Mm-hmm.
In other communities, it's not. If you are, and to be honest, in other communities, if you're a single mother, your family still supports you pretty well. We can use 16 and pregnant as a prime example. And then even if you get married, though, if you're well supported in the family. If men are misogynistic and they say, well, cooking is a woman's job, they gonna go out and bring that bacon home so you can cook. Girl,
100%, yeah.
thank you for coming up here.
All right, thanks for having me.
And being sweet. Thank you.
Thanks.
You have a nice day.
You too.
Wow, y'all. You know what? Y'all got me thinking different. Okay. Hello, Emma.
Hello, how are you?
How are you? Okay. Are you in Paris?
Yeah.
I remember you from Instagram. How are you?
Indeed, it's me. I'm
How's
fine.
everything
I'm fine.
going?
Well, things are going pretty all right now.
Okay.
I mean, it's going on. But yeah, it was about the subject. Maybe I will have a selfish approach to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, for me, there's no reason to think about anybody else but yourself. And I will say what you said till the beginning. Marriage, I've always thought about it like, it's a piece of paper. I don't care. I'll be with my man, blah, 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 blah. And the more I grow up, the more I'm like, you can't think like that. This paper is like every paper when you go in a company, you sign a contract. This contract means something for the company.
Mm-hmm.
So it means this marriage this paper that you're signing means something to the country.
Mm-hmm.
It means something to the state. It means that you have a status for sure. But the status brings you something. So you have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think about your own, what it will bring you first.
So you make it about you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You have to think about yourself. You have to think about your future.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you're going to build in this marriage is going to be for your future, for your family, for your children, for blah, blah, blah. Like they've done for years in the white community and in other communities. You have to think about building it for yourself. And so that's why I said it's selfish, but it's necessary. It's our life at the end. And also because I've seen so much single married women in my life. Like the young lady before, I also have African background. And it's crazy how it can be like, it's at a proportion that is unimaginable, the proportion of single married women. But the thing is, they are well seen compared to the women who didn't get married.
And how can you please describe the difference?
Well, for example, you'll be with friends, like there's women together and they'll be talking, and suddenly you are not married. You can't participate in the conversation anymore because you're not married. What would you add? You don't understand the conversation. You don't have a man, you don't have this, you don't have that. So because you don't have the status, you just erase from the conversation, maybe erase from the group. And that's what I find crazy. And at the same time, why I say you have to think about getting married to the right person, because they're getting abused too. They're also getting abused. But the thing is, they have status compared to you. So, yeah. It's just that. I think marriage and
How
what I
would you
will add to is
compare
that
the status? If you could compare it to something else in society.
I don't know.
Or the privilege.
It's actually really, I don't know. It's actually, I find that it's really particular as something that is happening in society, getting married and not getting married. It's something particular that I cannot compare to anything else, because to a woman, it has been something that has been sold to us for years, for decades, for centuries even. And so I don't know how to compare it to something else. Girl, I didn't.
You have you
Girl, I
did or you
didn't.
haven't? You didn't? If you
I
watch The
haven't.
Handmaid's Tale, the wives on that show weren't really treated the utmost best, but they did get privileges over the handmaids, which were
Exactly.
basically considered the baby mamas of society. So They did get a level of status. They were seen differently than the Handmaid's Tale. The handmaids were basically slaves.
Totally.
The
I mean,
wives, as long as they stood in line and didn't, cross certain boundaries with the whole government and everything, with a woman staying in her place, they basically were safe. They had protection. They had, all of these other privileges that the handmaids did not have. So I think that's a good comparison regarding, like status that marriage can
yeah,
offer.
yeah, totally. I mean, it
Hmm.
somehow protects you more. And also
Mhm.
something I will add is, you know,
Homeowner versus renting.
true,
Perfect.
true. But what I would add is also you don't have to rush into it. One thing for sure is that for me, um, I had only like maybe two boys, and I say boys in my life,
I love
and
your
nothing happened. And nothing happened for me. I didn't get pregnant or anything like that. Nothing. The thing is, I think it's important for us to still trying to build something for ourselves. If only our character, if only our strength to face the world that is coming, I mean, just towards us every day. And so take the time it's going to take. Take the time to think about yourself and to take the time to build for yourself so that when you meet the men that you want to meet, I saw the sermon. Perfect.
The 5 keys
So that
to a soulmate. Yes,
yeah,
I highly
I
recommend it,
saw
you
the
guys.
sermon.
It's not what you think. Don't go off the title. You got to go off and watch the video because
Exactly.
when I saw the title, I was like, ugh, it's one of these. But then I watched the video. I'm like, oh, it's not one of these. It's totally different. And I think he
It's
labeled it
perfect.
that to get people's attention. But it's a really good
Totally.
video.
Mm-hmm. Totally. So get yourself ready so that when you're whole and when you meet the person you need to meet, when you meet the person you need to marry,
Mm-hmm.
it's good. Nothing in this life is guaranteed, but you can at least minimize the risk by getting married and by already being prepared before getting into any relationship, any serious relationship. So that's all I said. Be selfish. It's good for you.
Okay. I love that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You have a nice day.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. This is a good comment here. And listen, I'm not trying to single nobody out, but I talked to a realtor, and home ownership is not a societal trap. It's about the property that you choose to invest in. Just like college is not a societal trap because it depends on the degree that you choose to go for. If you get home ownership can offer you stability because it's an investment. When you rent, you're literally paying off someone else's mortgage. You're not paying off your own mortgage. If you invest in a property that is actually beneficial to you as an investment, you're paying off that mortgage. You'll get something in return off that investment. If you're renting, there is no return. And this is why Yanni is not staying in no 4,000 a month condo, because I'm just like, I might as well go get a house. I might as well go buy a house and invest in a home, pay off my own mortgage and not help pay off somebody else's mortgage, and make an investment for me and my family. And then if I want to sell the property, then I can sell the property and get my return. When you rent, there's no return. College. Now, if you go and get a degree in business, like a general studies degree or something like that, no, you're not going to get any return on the college degree that you got, because no one is high. No one is. I mean, you're not going to get a good paying job with a general business degree. But if you went to school for like, I don't know, like IT, something in technology, or even the medical field, you're going to get a return on your college education. It would be a good investment. So, home ownership, yes, is considered to be an asset to you if you choose correctly. If you get a dump, then no, there's no investment unless you get it in an area where they're doing like redlining, or Jennifer, they're going in and rebuilding homes around that area, and like they are building up the area to where you could get a return on your investment. If it's an abandoned house or something like that, somebody would want to take the property off your hands, but that's about it. Um, yeah. I talked to the only reason why is because I talked to a realtor recently. The art of finding. I would like to add you to the live, but can you please mic up or cam up, please? That's the only thing that I ask is that you cam up for me. Thank you.
Hey,
How
Ani,
are
how are
you?
you?
Good. So, what would you like to add to this conversation of baby mama culture?
Sorry, I'm kind of driving all the way to Georgia from North Carolina, so that's why I was like not on my mic.
Oh no,
Um,
you're fine.
I guess what I wanted to add was that um, I think baby mama culture is a choice in a sense
Mhm.
because you it's your womb, you grow the child. Children are they don't choose to be there. You are the one who makes a decision. One or both parties make that decision together and they come up with a child. I
Mhm.
think everyone has the ability to decide, hey, I don't want to have a child. You can, I'm not saying anyone should get an abortion, but there's birth control. It's readily available, whether it's condoms, whether it's IUDs, whether it's whatever. Insert whatever birth control that's out there so that you can control, because that gives you control over what your body produces. And if you partake, you can also not have any sex and just be abstinent, and then you wouldn't have any kids. But you know, not everyone wants to go down that route, right? For me, I don't believe in being a baby mama. I don't believe in the baby mama culture. Like the two previous ladies, I come from an African, I come from a Nigerian background. And in Nigeria, marriage is, oh, they want you to get married before you're 30. Like before you're 30, you're trying to get there. Oh, but you know what? My sister, she got married at 32. And I mean, and she got the husband that she wanted, right? She got married
30,
at
bro?
32.
30? They want you married by 30?
By 30, 30. It's a taboo if you get married afterwards, you know. That's what the culture says, but it's not really, not in my family, not what I've seen, right?
Mhm.
I have three older sisters. I've seen different marriages, but I'll just highlight on my immediate older sister. She got married at 32 and she's very happy with who she married, right? She can be a stay-at-home mom. She doesn't have to like do anything else, right? She did her PhD. It doesn't like her husband doesn't see her as, oh, you know how like Kevin Samuel hits that button, I'm at the PhD, you know, and they think they're so strong headed. But my sister's a lady and, you know, she got what she deserved at 32 when she came into a marriage. Her husband wasn't expecting a, you know, girl who's like 22 years old who doesn't know what they're doing or what
Mhm.
their worth is. She came in with her own, and her coming in with her own, um, it elevated both of them. Yes, my brother-in-law doesn't have a PhD; he has a master's, but
Hmm.
that doesn't matter anything. He didn't care that she had a PhD. My sister's a professor; she enjoys doing that. But now that she's having a child, she's stepping away from that, and she's being able to be a stay-at-home mom because her husband can provide for her. But this whole farce about you have to, you know, get married before you're 30, I don't think that's true. And and also you control your own body, you control how, if you let someone come in you know, and create a child in your body, you control that. I mean, you shouldn't relegate that to the man. You have control over that. I think that's my opinion.
Okay. Well, I agree. So you're saying that Black women should slow down and not rush into marriage, and maybe we get better examples about marriage.
I think so. And I don't think this whole, if you have to get married by 30, that if you get married by 30, that's the beginning and ending of your life. And you should, might as well kiss marriage goodbye because you're not going to get married to a guy who's never been married or who doesn't have kids. And I can say that my sister is an exception. I have another sister who got married at 28. She was she found a husband who's never been married before. And these are high value men who actually genuinely care about them and want to elevate them. They see them as an elevation. They don't just see them as, oh, you know, I can't corrupt her. She's not 22. She's not 21. They see her coming into her own, having her own essence as an elevation for the entire family.
I agree. I agree. Well, thank you for calling in, and hopefully
Oh,
you have a safe trip.
thank you. I appreciate it. It's
You're
nice to
welcome.
talk to you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye
Bye.
bye. Okay. Okay. Well, that was the last caller, you guys. Someone said accounting and economics and finances is not an important degree. I didn't say it wasn't important. Listen, education is valuable, but will you get a return on your investment? Maybe not. There were a lot of people. I worked in call center for like, I don't know, like 5 years when I was in my early, at 19, 20, 21, 22, early 20s. And there were a lot of people that had economic degrees, accounting degrees, financing degrees, and they were sitting in the same position as me as a college dropout. So I'm not saying that education is not valuable, but will you get a return on your investment where you had to pay in thousands and thousands of dollars? I don't know. The way the economy is moving now, it's a gamble. I would not bank on that. I would go for something that is more guaranteed. It's guaranteed if you go and you get a degree in the medical field or you get a degree in technology. It's 100% guaranteed that you're going to get some type of return on your investment. When you do general studies, it's not a guarantee anymore because of technology and how fast the world is changing. So it's just something to think about. I don't feel like education in general is a waste of time. I just feel like for the amount of money that you're paying when it comes to college, you really want to ensure that you're getting a return on your investment, and you can't guarantee that with those type of degrees. Yes, nursing is guaranteed for sure. Nursing is definitely guaranteed. But who's to say that, when it comes to technology, even if you went for psychology, I feel like I told y'all that last night, that I feel like a psychology degree is good because more screen time, technology is on the rise, metaverse is coming on the rise. People are going to need to be psychically evaluated, you guys. So I feel like psychology is great, but financing, economics and all of that, I feel like that's going to be more computer programming. Like even if you went to school for computer programming and you got a minor major in finances and economics and things like that, I think that would be better for you. You just want to make sure. I have a degree in political science that I don't even use. Yeah, it's like stuff like that. I think because the job market is changing, you have to change with it. And that's just something to think about. You want your degree to last 20 years from the time that you graduate, 30 years from the time that you graduate. So, yeah. Someone says psychology is better when you get a master's degree. And I see a lot of people going back to school for their master's too. So it's just something to think about, you guys. Someone said white culture knew this. Definitely, they did. So I'm glad you guys came up here and spoke and gave your opinion on baby mama culture. You guys gave me a lot to think about, and I appreciate that. Also, the criticism that I got on my Rihanna video when it was respectful, it's something that I'm thinking about. One thing about me, when I do my commentary, I review my footage. I study my footage. Just like I did when I played basketball, when I did sports, I study because I want to make sure that I'm not just putting things out here that are not helpful. I don't just sit up here and do this for the money. There are things that I feel like as a community we can do better on, but we have to be realistic, and also we have to understand that the system that we live in, how that truly works. And like I said, white people, white supremacy, they didn't want us to get married because they didn't want us to have wealth. They did not want our community to accumulate wealth. So they have pushed this strong, independent Black woman narrative. They have pushed this marriage is just a piece of paper. You don't need a man. They have pushed this on us because they don't want our community to accumulate wealth, to have wealth. But every other community out here can, and I feel like marriage keeps the wealth in the community, which keeps the community strong. You need resources, you need money in order to survive in the world that we live in. So it's just something to think about. I don't feel like you should rush into marriage just for social reasons, because you want this social status, because you could very well end up being a single mother in a marriage. Just slow down, but really think of yourself. Like Emma said in today's live, she said, think of yourself when it comes to marriage. Stop thinking about society. Stop thinking about what your mama think or how I think. Think about yourself when you decide to get married, and make sure that you're reaping the benefits from it. So on that note, you guys, I'm going to end this live, and I'm going to come on here tomorrow, and I'm going to react to Nicki Minaj and Kevin Samuels. I still haven't watched the video, but I'm going to react to that. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to leave this video up for you guys to watch, but that video will be on my Patreon. If you catch it live, you catch it live. If you catch it live, it will be for free. You guys have a lovely day and evening, and hopefully your work day isn't going to stress you out too bad, because I know how that can be. But I will see you guys later. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up before you leave. I would really greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys very soon. Bye.